This is 5 on your side at 10.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Michelle Lee. We are starting tonight with breaking news out of North St. Louis, where police have found the body of a missing woman. Police are now calling this an active homicide investigation and are asking the public for help. Travis Cummings is live outside police headquarters with what we know so far. Travis.
Yeah, Michelle, police identified the young woman as 25-year-old Dasia Allen. Officials say family found her in a large lot off of Scranton and Riverview just before 6 tonight. Now, there were several people out and about following this discovery this evening. Many of them family members and friends distraught to learn of the devastating outcome more than a week later. Allen's mother told police she left her home around 6 on March 30th. That was a Wednesday, to go grocery shopping. She was driving her white 2005 Mercury Montego. A day later, that car was recovered in the 700 block of Thrush, and it was burned. St. Louis Police Chief John Hayden is asking for the public's help in finding out who is responsible for this. What was a missing investigation has now become an active homicide investigation.
I'm pleading for the community. This is a mother, 25-year-old, with small children, and we need to solve this.
If you know anything about anything that could help out in this investigation, you're asked to call the St. Louis Homicide Division or Crime Stoppers. That's 866-371-TIPS. We're live in downtown St. Louis tonight. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
All right. Thanks so much, Travis. And again, this is a developing story. We will continue to keep you updated as we learn more on air and online. All right, in the meantime, let's take a live look outside from our tower cam. This is at 100 above the park. This is overlooking the Central West End this evening. Things warmed up quite a bit today and around St. Louis, but it is looking even warmer as we wrap up the weekend. Meteorologist Jim Castillo joins us now. Jim, before that warm weather moves in, we do have to get through tonight, right? So we could maybe see some frost?
Yes, especially on the Illinois side, because we're watching these temperatures all night long, Michelle. It's not going to be as cold as last night, but we're already down to 47, even at Lambert, and the average low for this time of year is 45. But only one county in Illinois, Clay County, has that freeze warning that starts up at midnight and goes till 8 a.m. Protect the tender plants anywhere around the area tonight, because upper 30s in many spots on the Illinois side, even around St. Louis. And then on the Missouri side, you see some low 40s from Sullivan to Herman to Rolla, so less likely that you'll see any frost there. Another big part of the story, yes, we warm up. We're windy tomorrow, but then tomorrow night, late evening into the overnight hours, a chance of some severe weather. We'll get into this, talk more about it coming up in just a bit, Michelle.
All right, thanks so much, Jim. For the first time in a while, Blues and Cardinal fans are celebrating on the same day. It's also the first time since COVID restrictions were lifted in the city. The mask mandate was dropped last month, and both Enterprise Center and Busch Stadium are open at full capacity. Earlier today, Travis Cummings checked out the action.
It's that time where the Blue Bear and the Red Bird meet. St. Louis baseball and hockey in action on the same day for the first time in a long time.
We're going tonight, and we just went to the Cards game now, yep.
Kendall Cook and his wife doing double duty with the gear to prove it.
Wait. We got the Blues socks, though.
The couple hoping for victories on both ends.
Yeah, it's awesome. 2 wins in a row with St. Louis Cardinals, and now we're going to watch the Blues try to win again. They won last night, so yeah, we're pumped.
There's going to be a lot of blue and red tonight. Excited to see it.
It's a good day for Brett Lancer and his crew at Tin Roof in the middle of all the action, feeding and entertaining a wave of fans before the Cardinals game and another before the Blues.
We get to meet everyone that's up in these suburbs, and around the city, and people that aren't downtown or living downtown, that we get to bring them all together and for just like a great cause. So the sports, and then top it off with our live music.
COVID took its toll on the teams, their fans, the fun.
Yeah, it's been awesome just being able to see thousands of people just walking around and not having the restrictions this year.
Locals and visitors are glad to see the things that shape St. Louis return as once before.
It's incredible. Everybody's been waiting for this moment, and you can hear the energy through the streets. We're all ready for this.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Explore St. Louis estimates that we would see 100,000 people hit downtown this weekend between events at Busch, Enterprise, and America's Center. Okay, things could get tricky on the road this weekend with all the Cardinals and Blues fans driving in and out of St. Louis. So just a reminder, all lanes of I-44 are closed at Big Bend. MoDOT crews shut them down last night so they could take down the overpass. So really, you should just avoid that area altogether, but there are detour signs posted. Everything is expected to reopen by Monday morning for your commute. Today was the funeral for a St. Louis teen who died after falling off of an amusement park ride in Orlando. 14-year-old Tyree Sampson fell off of that ride at a park in Florida while on spring break. Hundreds of people showed up to services for Sampson today. His family and friends remember him as a larger-than-life personality.
He stayed asking me no matter what, every time we played football, what you want to do when you got older, or like who you want to be like when you get older. I'm like, I don't know who you want to be like. He said, nobody. I'm going to be myself.
Well, Sampson was a student at City Garden Montessori School. He also had dreams of becoming a professional football player. Sampson fell from the 430-foot tower drop ride at Icon Park in Orlando last month. The park remains closed as this investigation continues. Okay, got a question for you. What would you do with $500 million from the federal government? The city of St. Louis wants you to chime in to answering that very question. Earlier today, city leaders held an unofficial town hall to get some input from citizens, and they walked away with quite an earful.
The line to speak was long. Big ideas for a very big budget.
We want to hear your thoughts. You know, how would you prioritize the spending of these dollars? Because at the end of the day, they're your dollars.
Our city bank account is getting $250 million from the American Rescue Plan Act, on top of $250 million already received. There's just one problem.
We don't have a lot of time on this. We roughly, to spend it, we have 4 years and 8 months and 23 days to spend the entire $500 million from today.
City officials are working against the clock, and if they hit areas that have been economically left behind, they've got more flexibility to spend what they call transformational dollars.
I can't pick just one thing off of this list as the priority, but when I say children and youth, it encompasses everything else because our children are impacted.
You need education, you need skills, and you need job training.
If you don't have money that's going to help you with health care, nothing else really matters.
So I know there's got to be mental health disorders, and we need to put more money and more attention to that, especially to those in our neighborhoods.
Improving education, crime, addiction, affordable housing. Some people gave the city their plans, while others gave their gripes.
And our community looked like a war zone.
Overall, there is no shortage of need, and at this moment, no shortage of dollars.
I appreciate everything we're doing. I appreciate this money that's been offered to us, but the main thing is to make a change, to make the city better.
Okay, and get this, all of that money has to be spent by the end of 2026. Otherwise, it actually goes back to the federal government. So if you missed today's meeting, you can still take an online survey. All you have to do is text the word survey to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you a link.
Caretakers may have even a harder time finding baby formula on shelves, while retailers are starting to ration it. Credit reports can determine what you buy and how you buy it. Our Verify team explains how our current number system got started and the blind spot that still exists.
Warmer and windy on Sunday, then thunderstorm chances ramp up at night, even a risk of some severe weather. Details coming up.
Yeah, hold on. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check, mic check.
Welcome back. Illinois lawmakers approved a $46 billion budget that includes almost $2 billion in election year tax relief. The Illinois Senate approved the budget plan late last night. The House gave its approval a little later. The budget includes temporary tax breaks on gas, groceries, and real estate levies, which end after this year's election for governor. In the meantime, Amazon is appealing a week after employees at a New York City warehouse voted to form a union. Amazon claims the votes were influenced after a delayed investigation into alleged unfair labor practices. The vote, though, is historic. It is the first time a group of U.S. workers voted to form a union in Amazon's history. Amazon is filing to the National Labor Relations Board calling for another election. Retailers are now rationing their supplies because of a baby formula shortage. Walgreens is limiting shoppers to 3 infant and toddler formula products per transaction. Part of the problem is because of a recall that happened back in February. Manufacturers are increasing production, but it may take weeks for them to catch up.
All right, looking into the future here. Here's Sunday, partly sunny, clouds on the increase, and we stay dry until the evening. Then shower and thunderstorm chances ramp up late evening into the overnight. Some could be strong or severe. We'll talk a little bit more about this coming up.
All right, 14 minutes after the hour. Oh, look, there's Michael Che. This is a live look at Studio 8H. The cast and crew of Saturday Night Live are getting ready for a brand new episode. Tonight's host is Jake Gyllenhaal. He hosted the show 15 years ago. The musical guest is Camila Cabello. So you can watch here on 5 on Your Side right after our newscast. I love watching Michael Che get the crowd excited. Okay, here's something else you can watch this weekend. For the first time in the show's 33-year history, an actor who's deaf will be featured on The Simpsons. The episode focuses on Lisa Simpson. Her role model's son is deaf and needs a cochlear implant. And the story is based off the life of the episode's main writer, who says her brother is hearing impaired. The show characters use sign language throughout the episode, and that one airs tomorrow night. Credit scores are used for everything from making a big purchase to getting approved for a loan. But how long has this system been around? Brandon Lewis with our Verify team explains the history of how it was created.
If you want to buy a house, rent an apartment, get a loan, or do just about anything involving credit, the lender is going to look at your credit score. This is a number that predicts your ability to pay back a loan based on your credit history. Every so often, the history of credit scores comes up among younger adults on social media when discussing how different it is today to make big purchases compared to past generations. So, let's verify. Were credit scores, as we know them today, invented in 1989? Our sources are financial data company FICO, Credit Reporting Bureau Equifax, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, and financial management education blogs OpU and badcredit.org. The first credit bureaus opened in the mid-1800s, but they didn't use the scoring system we have today. Instead, badcredit.org says their standards varied widely. Some use subjective character judgments and biases, like a person's race, gender, and marital status. There also wasn't a universal system, so, for example, there'd be one score for mortgages, another for auto, and a separate one for personal loans. In the 1970s, Congress passed 2 laws to prevent discrimination and make credit reporting data more accessible. In 1989, FICO created an algorithm for a universal score that ranges from 300 to 850 based on the likelihood that you'd repay any type of loan. A FICO employee blog post says the score system took off and is now used by all 3 major credit reporting agencies. So, yes, credit scores as we know them today were invented in 1989. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Okay, so what can we verify for you? You can text the word verify to 314-425-5355 for information on how to submit your question. All right, everyone knows that Easter is next weekend, or at least you do now. It is that time of year when Easter candy and baskets are flying off shelves. Of course, one of the most popular Easter foods are marshmallow peeps. And check this out, an art museum in Wisconsin showcases art inspired by peeps. There's Godzilla, hippies, peeps around a campfire, and much more. While the art is made out of food, most of the peeps have been painted or glued, so that means they're not edible for most people. But that doesn't stop some of them from getting a taste themselves. I would pass on that. Are you a peeps person?
You know what? Not to eat them, but making art of them. Yes.
I would do that, yes. I'm not a peeps person, but I think that that's really cool. And I forgot, yes, Easter is just around the corner. Hopefully it will warm up by then.
Well, in the 10-day forecast that's coming up, I've got a little Easter basket for you. And I'll let you know. Hey, we'll see. 59 was the high today, 34 for the overnight low, and 66 and 45 are the averages. So definitely below average. 91 back in 2001. Yeah, it was a hot year then. So temperatures look like this at this hour. 43 Chesterfield, 48 for Greenville, Illinois. Warrenton coming in at 40 and 41 in Sullivan. So temperatures tonight on the Illinois side in the 30s, areas of frost. Temperatures definitely with that lighter wind getting down to near 37 in Shiloh. You might see frost there. And that freeze warning continues for Clay County around Flora, the only county with that freeze warning. Then we have this warm front come through the area here. So temperatures pop well into the 70s. It's extremely windy, wind gusts to 35 miles an hour. Then this front, this is at 7 p.m. It approaches the area and it will spark off some showers and thunderstorms. So here's that futurecast. Put it into motion that chilly morning tomorrow and some clouds definitely on the increase. We'll call it partly sunny most of the day. Here's 6 p.m. clouds on the increase. It kind of gets really thick cloud cover. And then by 9:30 in the evening, some showers pop up, maybe some rumbles of thunder. But it's the overnight hours after midnight. Some heavier showers and storms can't be ruled out. So we'll have to watch the radar all the way through Monday morning. We'll get a break later on Monday, and then probably part of Tuesday, and then another chance of thunderstorms as we head into Wednesday. And that possibility, marginal risk in green, which is isolated severe storms for most of the metro, scattered severe storms in yellow, Herman to Rolla, and that risk of even tornadic activity can't be ruled out. A brief tornado but high wind and hail, the biggest threats. And then it moves a little further south as we head into Monday. But by Tuesday, look how big this area is from Kansas City down to Dallas. So we'll watch our western counties, and then Wednesday, it's really widespread. So something we'll be watching as the week goes on. So tonight, it is mainly clear, 39 on average. Tomorrow in the 70s, very windy. And then 65 Monday. Cold front comes through tomorrow night, knocks the temperature down to 65 on Monday. The Cardinals game, might have a little issue then, but by Easter, there it is, rain and about 58.
All right, you're just keeping us on our toes. Thanks, Jim. Now Ahmad joins us with what's next in sports.
The Cardinals look like a team destined to make a playoff run, while the Blues try to lock up a playoff spot with the regular season winding down. We check in on the guys next in sports. After an up and down start to the new year, the Blues have found their stride, recently winning 4 straight games. The reason? Playing physical and playing a full 60 minutes of hockey. Taking on the Islanders, they wasted no time putting up points this afternoon. Nick Leddy going top shelf, giving the Blues an early 1-0 lead. That wouldn't be the end of it. Next, the Islanders goalie couldn't handle this 100-mile-an-hour rocket from Parayko, and Tarasenko is there to clean up the loose trash. And tonight was like a holiday party. Everybody was leaving with something. Justin Falk continues his tear, also lighting the lamp. The Blues will go on to win 6-1.
We've said it before, it's that time of the year where we got to push, especially we're fighting with Minnesota right now for a second spot, and it's kind of big for us to be on top of them. So, because maybe in the playoffs, it's it's going to help us to be in the homestand.
Today was only Skip Schumacher's second game as a Cardinals bench coach, but it didn't stop him from leading the team. New skipper Ali Marmol was sent home after being diagnosed with the flu earlier today. Skip would be tested early on. Miles Michaelis in a jam, bases loaded. They'd stick with him, and he would get out of the jam. 3 2/3 today, 6 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs, and only 1 K for Michaelis. Paul DeYoung cleaned up his swing this offseason, and he was cleaning off the base pads earlier today. A 2-run shot, his first of the season, and a historic day for Nolan Arenado. and a personal best for him. As this ball falls, it meant Nolan went 4 for 4 at the plate, bringing in 3 runs on 3 doubles. The Cards will go on to win 6-2. How about that big day, Nolan?
I mean, like I said, today I got a little lucky, but I hit that 1-ball double to left. It was really good on a 98 mile per hour fastball. I feel like last year I was having trouble with the fastballs. So that was great to see that adjustment happen in the first couple games against a guy that has a really good arm. Yeah, I mean, it's only been 2 games, but like I said, it's a great sign that I feel like I'm getting my swing off, and I feel pretty good. So I feel like I could build off this.
You ever go to a sporting event and hear people complain about the officials nonstop? I don't even need you to answer because I know you have. Most people think officiating can be done in your sleep and doesn't require much training, but that's simply not the case, says Jordan Wilson, who referees on multiple levels. Him and Sarah Woods of Big Game Officiating put on the first ever Big Game Officials Elite Performance Combine, partnered with the Battle of the Borders. Woods and Wilson say it's a mixture of fun and hard work.
I hope so, because they need to understand that we really work hard and we take this seriously in order to get the call right.
And it's also in connection with the Battle of the Borders men's tournament as well. Just give a platform for the guys to have fun and referee and play as well.
It's moving day at the Masters. Scottie Scheffler still sits atop the leaderboard, 9 under heading into Sunday. Cam Smith trails at 6 under. There have been 15 PGA Tour events in 2022. Scheffler and Smith have combined for 5 wins. And SLU's Javante Perkins has decided to come back to SLU next season. Travis Ford joins Frank Cusimano on Sports Plus to chat about that. And we also sit down with a few Cardinals Hall of Famers as they help us recap opening day. Sports Plus starts tomorrow night at 10:30. And that will do it for sports. Go for it.
I was going to say, I can't wait because there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Jam-packed show. Frank will always bring out the best in Coach Ford, so hopefully they talk about some new additions or some big plans for SLU next season.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Ahmad.
No problem.
We want some big plans with the weather, but not the kind of plans that you're telling us about. Potential storms.
So, tomorrow's Cardinal game, it looks good, but windy, and it's dry, right? But Monday, showers and storms for the game, 65. Chance of severe weather tomorrow night, and again Wednesday, some 70s in there. By Easter Sunday, rain and 58.
Ooh, I might do my Easter egg hunt in my basement.
Right.
All right.
Inside.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. That's all of our time for tonight at 10. Saturday Night Live is coming up next.